Welcome back to Our Better Angels Case 2. This is part 2, titled Gabriel. Last session, the group entered into the town of Nelson and made their way up a made their way up a path to a series of houses. They all looked like they were relatively newer installations, but there was a house kind of in the woods that looked like it was quite a bit older than them, and the fog around the area seemed to be glowing with a strange, eerie, kind of like almost gray kind of light. They moved around the house to the front of it, which is off of the road that they came up to get there, um, and then a little bit of B&E on their part um, to get into the house. Uh, Two people went in on a left window, window left of the main door, and three people went in towards the right window. The main doors themselves appear to have damage on them, but are still secure enough that they kind of stop anyone from being able to enter them or potentially exit them. That is yet to be determined. On the left side, the group found that there was a strange individual, presumably eating the corpse of another individual. Um, the two looking very similar in not only garments worn, but also in their facial features, which changed amidst an ensuing conflict. Um, the skirmish was between Riley Grayson, that would be Brent's character, and Detective Stan Dukes, that would be Zach's character, and the mysterious cannibal stranger, which after killing it, they've determined is an inhuman thing that appears to have the ability to change its features. On the right side, a little less graphic. They were able to get in without much problem. There appears to be a coffee cup that is still warm, magazine out on a table, and a small bit of fire roaring in the um, fireplace. They've decided to exit that side office or side kind of waiting room. They saw a hallway that seems to go all the way up to the into the house, but past that to the door across the hall from their door, and entered into the foyer, where they see a very large area rug, two staircases that ascend upwards, and set in between those two staircases is what appears to be a beautiful white marble statue of the Archangel Gabriel. His hands are out to his sides, looking like he should be holding something in each of his hands, but closer inspection will need to be done to determine what. And the doors from this vantage point show that they are not only, or they are barred, just normally barred. Large planks on kind of swivels are in place. This house was designed to have barrable doors, apparently. Before we get into discussion as to what's happening next, I would like for Zach and Brent to go ahead and roll spot hidden for me. And I'll need a hard success.
I got a regular success.
Extreme better than hard, or
Extreme is better than hard.
Riley, the second that the conflict is over and you can see that uh, Detective Stan is kind of looking at his piece, looking down at the victim of your victim, you look up for a second, and this door over here, across the space from you, is cracked just a little bit. And you can see through the crack a single eye and a silhouette of a person. And as you kind of look right into that eye, the eye kind of widens and shuts the door. But not loudly. It's like a beautiful, kind of slow, kind of just. You're the only person who notices any of that.
yeah, I'm gonna look over to the detective and be like, hey, someone's behind that door over there. I don't know if it's another one of those things or somebody that ran from that thing, but it looked like they were watching us.
Keeping in mind during the conflict, Riley was a lot out of it and was not exactly a reliable
Yeah.
person, period. While you kind of mill that over in your head a bit there, Zach, I don't think your response is... Unless you have an immediate response to that.
Immediate response is to at least get between him and that door.
Okay. And as you're kind of like looking at it, it doesn't look like it's moved.
I
or
still
anything.
have the pistol drawn.
Okay. So, back outside in the foyer, as I mentioned, you're kind of entering into that space. I would like for Chody to go ahead and make a spot hidden check, as well as the other two are kind of coming into the foyer, and you're kind of following behind. As you're coming into this hallway and heading that way, you see what looks like light coming from far, far up this way. And the shadows kind of playing at this door that I'm about to open. There seems to be shadow play here that would, to you, and just kind of your quick look, denote that there's somebody moving around over there. But it's just a very kind of quick look over and glance, and then as you kind of focus in on it a bit more concerned, it doesn't seem to move at all.
Wait, did you want me to hit that as
No.
well?
I just
Okay.
wanted Chody to roll.
Just Chody. Okay, perfect.
Because
Fine.
I believe Chody's character, Arnie, was last out. Basically,
Yeah.
it would have probably been Arthur first with Erica right behind. And then Arnie still unsure, like kind of
Yeah.
coming out with, not only the gear, but also he was asked to pick up some things by Stan back outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. So, focusing in on Arthur and
He's got that
Erica,
evidence bag. He's pondering.
You feel free to interject at any point. You can also not follow them out into the foyer if you're interested in seeing what's over there and going by yourself.
He would
Totally.
try to keep us. I don't think my guy would. He's scared. He is not a fighter. He's
You're role playing.
Shaggy.
You're doing good.
Do you?
I mean, there's also like the kind of I don't know if it's something bad and I need to find out if it's bad or not kind of like mentality of like horror films. So I'm just, again, every option is on the table.
Okay, tell
we
you what.
also just broke into a
He's-
nice home.
He's gonna be hardcore. He's gonna look down that hallway and he's gonna slowly pull out his pepper spray and he's gonna walk down that hallway slowly.
Okay.
Pepper spray didn't exist
Go
until
ahead.
1964.
Well, yeah.
He's
I'm
got his
sorry.
homemade
I
stuff.
looked it up.
Homemade stinky spray. How about that?
He's got,
He's got-
a little bit of skunk spray.
He's
in
got the
there.
aerosol can with a
You put
bunch
the
of
whole
glass
skunk-
powder and cayenne pepper.
Yeah, Mace was also in the 1960s.
That's it. See, you got that.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's a deterrent device. It's not a spray device. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I'm sorry, I looked up a lot of like self-defense
We're
things
also-
to add to mine.
In an
He's got his whistle in his mouth. He's ready.
We're in an alternate universe. Who knows?
Anything can happen.
It could have been invented early. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So if you move up to this space right in front of you, you'll see to the left there's a hallway that goes across the house. There are two, again, there's electrical lamps in this space, which is why it's well lit, but they are kind of, it's that old kind of pale yellow light, and it's dim. It's more dim than like normal light bulbs would be, but it gives you enough vision to see everything. It just makes shadows kind of longer and everything kind of just like strangely eerie feeling. In between those two spaces, there's a doorway. And from what you can see, the door has a carving on its face.
What does the carving look like?
From this angle, because you're kind of looking at it from a sidelong angle, you can't really tell. You can just tell that there was a lot of very skilled craftsmanship that went into that woodwork.
Okay, I'd continue down the hallway then
Okay,
to the door that I saw the movement.
we'll pause for a second there. We're going to go back to the inside. So, again, I want to make sure that we understand Arnie was right behind you. You can play off of that if you wish, or you can focus on the task at hand, the angel in front of you. But I'd like for Arthur and Erica to kind of roleplay their reaction.
So just to be clear, when we were in the other room, we heard a gunshot ring out.
Yeah.
Oh,
It,
like
it
four
was from
gunshots.
over here, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and
It's
so
coming
it's
from
not.
this way,
So
too.
it would have been really loud, and so we started to head across the hall, right? And
Right.
then Arthur would see Arnie follow, but then turn up the hall away from them. He would look at Erica and say, "What is that silly boy doing?" Sort of a angry whisper, and then he would pull out his 45 with his good arm,
And I pulled out my gun.
with my good arm, and I would like slowly inch my way over
Okay,
to very like quietly to the door.
sure. And as Arthur's doing that, Erica, I just want to make sure
Yeah.
we understand. I don't want this to come off as just kind of like I'm focusing on it too much because that's the kind of storytelling I do. I want to make sure that I'm giving it perfect kind of like notation. The statue of the angel is immaculate. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like David levels, like Michelangelo or whoever that was the carver guy that did. Yeah,
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
one of the
you're
Ninja Turtles. So
The best one.
Perfect. Yeah.
got turtles. So it looks
Here's
great.
the artistic one.
He was a party dude and a fine craftsman.
And an absolute asshole.
Not the
Talking about
Ninja
the
Turtle.
I was gonna say
I was talking about
Michelangelo's
the artist.
awesome. Oh, I was talking about the turtles. I was like, what's wrong with Michelangelo?
I never met
Well,
the guy.
To be fair, he's not as bad as Botticelli, so it's fine.
Yeah, Raphael was the asshole of the Turtles.
Yeah, that's true. But
He
the
keeps
real
trying to talk
Michelangelo
about
is
art, and
awful.
we're all
He
like,
was
no
cool
turtles.
but rude.
I was an art history minor.
It's okay.
Nice.
I was two semesters away.
I'm
from
pretty
having
sure
a
some of
major.
us majored in Ninja.
That's fine. I just really like art. Okay.
That's okay.
I liked art history too, Liz.
I'm defending ourselves. I'm not attacking you.
I was too busy watching the Olsen twins.
Oh boy.
Anyways,
Cool statue.
so like she's like staring at the statue, but then like carefully backing up towards the door again. Like she doesn't want to like look away from the statue. Like she wants to look at the statue, but like where the hell is Arnie going? And
You do
what
one of
the
those
hell
like
is
kind of side peeks out the door and kind of look down the hallway, and you would see Arnie
Yeah.
kind of stop for a second here, look to the left and go, and then kind of start moving down the hall. He appears to have something in his hand
yeah.
and is heading
That
north.
you have no idea what it is because
Yeah,
it hasn't
it's
been
from the
invented
future.
yet.
She'll like do that like yell whisper like Arnie.
I'd look back and go, like, there's someone up there.
I
And
love
there's
that you
someone
have a
over
blurring
there.
filter on your camera. when you made hand signs, we saw like a third of it.
It's my gang signs. They gotta blur them out, man.
Gotcha.
I get
Yeah,
you. I
it's a
get
switch.
you. She's like, there were gunshots over there.
Arthur, you walk up to the door carefully.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as you start to open it, I'm presuming.
Yeah. So like, I'm just carefully, slowly, cautiously opening it up. Yeah.
Stan, are you moving on the door that Riley pointed out?
I'd ask Riley to search the body of the person
Okay.
for an identification, and I'll start approaching the door. And I guess if he saw somebody, I'll take that at face value. This is Detective Stan Dukes on authority of Arkham Police Department. We're here investigating. Come out with your hands up.
There's no response. Riley, as you kind of drop down and kind of start, like, you know, probably with, like, a bit of goosebumps, moving to find the ID of this individual, you hear behind you the sound of door kind of being manipulated. This would be from the here. And, Stan, I'm going to say you're probably an intelligent enough guy, so, like, after you say these words, you kind of hear that noise as well. And Arthur, you walk out into this hallway.
Yeah.
You would then hear kind of like quiet from the room ahead of you, but you did hear some muffled yelling coming from it as you were entering into the hallway.
There's quiet from which room ahead of me?
The door, like, literally right in front of you.
Okay, but then what was muffled?
Before you came through into that hallway, you heard what sounded like muffled yelling.
From the same direction.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
so I'm going
also
to crack that
seems
door.
to be the... Okay. So, again, keep in mind, you do not know that he's coming through that door.
Right.
So I just want you to react accordingly. The door starts to open.
I'm going to jump on the other side of the couch if possible.
Okay. The couch is broken in half. I know it doesn't show on image. Because the big old flesh whip.
Yeah. I'm going to try to jump in, like, to whatever spot I think would hide me the best.
Okay. Okay. Make a stealth roll. And then Stan.
I demanded somebody come out. If they come out of a different door, I'll face that door. I'll aim down at that door, but
You turn around.
I'm not just blind firing at it.
And point the gun. And Arthur, you have a pistol drawn.
I do.
But presumably, since you're opening the door, you're not, like, pointing it. You're not, like, a tactical person.
It's like this.
Yeah, you're doing that. The most tactical technique
Charlie's
ever.
Angel.
Charlie's Angels, exactly.
We love it. So you see Arthur with a pistol in his hand come through the door.
Do I see?
Oh yeah, there's a guy
Stan?
pointing. There's
Sure,
a guy
don't-
you know.
Don't shoot, Stan.
Put that down.
I'd rather, yes. And he puts it in his holster or in his pocket or wherever the hell he puts it.
The immediate sight that you would see Arthur is gore on the ground. Looks like Riley is kind of picking, or no, Riley darted. You do not see Riley at all.
Riley's gone.
He does not
Probably
exist.
over here, to be completely honest. But yeah, there's gore on the ground, and then there's something that looks humanoid in shape, but it's slushy. I would say that his remains are not going to warrant a sanity roll because it's kind of it's hard to determine if it was human or not.
What happened here?
I don't rightly know, Doctor.
Did you kill him?
Sure hope so. Not that guy.
Not that guy?
No, the thing next to him.
And I look at the thing next to it.
It's humanoid in shape, but it seems that its skin and muscle are made out of like a fluid, yeah, almost like that. Yeah, it's kind of like, I'd say more gelatin. It's like
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is gonna be disgusting, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. You know when like chicken grease kind of congeals to a point?
Yeah.
It's that. It looks like that.
Oh, that's so gross. I got you. And that. So remind me, John. Have I always known Biko to be Nelson?
So you've always known Biko to be Nelson.
Okay. And he would say, "Let this Nelson place again." And then he would say to Stan, "The damn fool Arnie ran off in the other direction. We should be all together."
That thing changed shape. Yes, we should.
So, Erica, do you follow Arnie out?
She's just kind of like, did you just move me?
I did, kind of into the hallway, just so
Oh.
it's easier to see on
Okay.
the camera.
Well,
Sorry.
she was just kind of like spanning the doorway and kind of like leaning in.
So you go back in.
Yeah, like
Okay.
literally like in the doorway, kind of leaning out and like trying to like usher him back.
Do you
Because
bite Arnie, or are you focused still on the shadows you saw?
If she's really trying, I would go back. I would
Oh.
listen. I'm low man totem pole.
And the courage you had mustered is easily shaken.
Oh
aside.
yeah.
I mean, there's a we know that there's at least one gun in this house.
Right, and my
She
Part
doesn't
of-
want him dead too.
part of the process was the gunshot came from that way. I don't want to go that way. But
Right.
if things are
but everyone we know is over that way.
Well,
So-
not real attached to him yet.
Erica, as you come back into the foyer with Arnie behind you, Arthur, this is about the time you say, that fool Arnie ran off without, and you kind of look over in that direction, and just as you finish that sentence is when Arnie's coming into the foyer behind Erica. So,
He would give a little scowl at Arnie.
Arnie would be shocked, and he would start taking pictures of the angel,
okay.
and because he thinks it's pretty, and he
It
would
is very-
start wondering what it is.
And as you're kind of very closely detailed looking at it, and this would be the same for Erica as well, you would see that its hands, they appear to be held out, but they're kind of postured as if they were holding something.
Mhm.
In the left hand, you can see what looks like a divot that has a bit more of a mechanical nature to it, almost as if something were supposed to be slotted into it. And in the right hand, there is a cross cut and a cross cut across the palm, as if a crucifix could be set into the hand, and those cuts would basically allow for it to be better held in that space.
We in the Resident Evil house?
Yes.
Maybe.
Could be a lion statue downstairs.
There's a lion.
Eyes missing.
God damn it! How does he know about the lion statue already? I gotta rewrite the whole thing. Hold on.
You have too much.
Oh no. So the left hand had the slot and the right had the crosscuts.
Right for cross, left for undetermined, but just like a straight hole, kind of.
Okay. And how tall is the statue?
10 feet tall.
10 feet.
The plinth that it's on is about 2 feet tall, and it looks like it has some writing on it. Like
I take it the hands are kind of down, if you
Yeah.
can see.
yeah, they're kind of
Okay.
like held down as if they were kind of like offering these out.
Gotcha.
Can I go ahead and lean in and read the plate?
When you look at the plate, the writing appears to be in Gaelic, some language you don't understand, but you do kind of see that the lettering is kind of familiar since you've traveled abroad. Do you read different languages?
I do. Where did I put those?
Question.
ADS question.
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
John.
I presume that Liz, sort of as my protege, would have read over some of the notes and research that I've written over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's done that, she might remember that the original sort of case that we had in Nelson about the furniture had to do with Gaelic.
Yeah,
I have
Gaelic writing was used.
Own Gaelic and Latin
Okay, so you can read
as
it
my
now.
languages.
So it reads, "Cross and orb rule over the world."
One more time.
Cross and orb rule over the world.
Interesting. Does it say like an artist and a title or just that?
It's just that on kind of like the plinth, and it's not like a plaque of its own. It just appears to have been carved into it.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like it was carved
Like it's part
intentionally.
of it.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it was added after. And then I guess go ahead and give me a spot hidden, Elizabeth. So as you're kind of studying that space, the plinth, you'll notice that the facade, the front-facing portion where the writing is on it, appears to be a separate piece from the remainder of it. Like it is like placed on there, and it might serve as some sort of door or kind of like, you know, catch space. And as you're trying to fiddle with that, you notice that it is not coming open.
But it looks like it could
might
be.
It might could, yeah. If you were to use force, or if you were to somehow find the mechanism for opening it, yeah.
Puzzle box sort of
Puzzle
thing.
box sort of thing, correct.
Cool. Let's see.
Meanwhile,
Well, the
Oh, go
right
ahead.
hand could hold across. I think that we need to. She'll look at Arnie. I think we should look to see if there's any crosses or orbs here. And she's like writing down on a little notepad.
He's kind of doing the picture taking. Are you using any other devices, Jody?
That and I was thinking about doing a rub so we can have a physical representation of the size of the item we need. So like a crayon rub,
Hmm.
like
So
chalk.
on one piece of paper, you do a rub of the word, so you have that. Then you do a
Well,
rub of the hand hole and the hand cross. Yeah, that I get
Yep.
you. Okay, perfect. And then, meanwhile, inside Stan, Riley peeks out, sees that it's just Arthur, and then goes back to corpse digging. And then, are you changing your focus back to the door?
Yeah, if he told me he saw somebody peeking from it,
You slowly walk over to
can
it.
I tell from here? Does the door open towards me or away from me?
The door opens inward, so it'll open away from you.
Okay.
And as you walk over to it, you very cautiously, carefully, gun in hand, police technique, kind of move towards the door handle and try to open it, and you very quickly realize that it has been locked.
Take it.
It is an oak door, by the way. I just want to make sure that house, all the doors are oak. The exterior doors are just thicker oak.
that good hardwood.
This is Detective Stan Dukes. If you believe you are in danger, please stay low. And I'll attempt to kick it in. What is that?
That's a great question.
Strength? Brawl?
I'll go with it because you're just trying to force the door. You're trying to shift it open. Just strength. And I'll need an extreme success for this.
I failed.
Okay. So only Riley and Arthur watch as you kind of slam into the door. And I mean, I think in Stan's heart of hearts, he knew that was probably going to play out like this.
Mm-hmm.
But you slam into the door a couple times and it doesn't budge.
Alright. I'll leave that door alone for now. It opens away from me. Okay.
Oh, go ahead and make a listen roll as well.
Oh, okay.
You were going at it too hard with that roll, so maybe you heard.
Eh.
Yeah, you slam into the door. And you just, kind of pause for a bit, not sure what's going on with this. But if there was somebody behind there, they are obviously not wanting to be found out, and they also have a working knowledge of how to use locks.
Fair enough. That's promising.
It means they may not be a flesh zombie.
Right.
Could you
That's
let me
what
into
I'm
that
hoping.
Good
room?
news.
Sorry, Andy?
I can't get into the room. Did it click on the door, or how does that? Oh,
Once it's open,
Okay.
you can move through, yeah.
thanks.
So I will very quickly lock this door.
Can I examine the books on the shelf?
Yeah. They are seemingly a number of records, and as you kind of look them over, they appear to be a conglomerate of photographic, kind of like almost photo books that have been compiled to show pictures of, as you look through it, quite dated pictures of people out in the yard, like where you first came in, and people at the top of a hill. And none of these are like terribly concerning. It just seems that they're kind of candid pictures taken of what appears to be at most 5 total subjects. There's 3 men that are featured in the photos prominently, and then there is a woman and a child.
How are they dressed?
It looks like they're dressed similar to the fashions of about a decade ago.
Okay.
And you can see that in a couple of the pictures, it looks like that top of the hill I mentioned, there appears to be some construction work that's going on in there. Or around there.
Okay. Okay. And would I be able to figure out with my knowledge of Nelson now what that might be?
It might be just outside, like where the turnabout is, where all the houses were
Mhm.
being put in.
Okay, so the
Probably-
subdivision was built, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is around the 1940s, early 40s? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Why would they have
Or
all those
late
pictures?
30s.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to check on Riley's progress and have a better look at the dead creature.
Riley, you find a pocketbook, a wallet. It doesn't appear to have any identification in it, but it does have $30 in it.
I'll take that. He's not gonna need it, guys. Come on.
Right, of course.
I mean, that's big money, though.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not. It's not a small amount in the 50s. That's
$352.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was thinking like 400.
Imagine that.
Do I see the other two in the foyer?
from where you're at. No, you'd have to kind of go in
I
there.
see like the bottom of someone's token here.
You'd see flashing. You would certainly see flashing. It looks like they're taking pictures.
You figure out who's behind the door.
You know where they're at, is if that's what
Right.
you're trying to get to.
Responding to Riley, no luck there. Hey, Arnie, you got a strong stomach? I left my camera in the car.
I mean, yeah,
Do me a solid, come in here.
Spicy foods.
he's lying, John.
It's like that scene. It's like that
R.I.P.
scene in Four Rooms. He walks and he's like, "What the fuck?" And just starts puking. Oh.
Good stuff.
Also, can I see the car from the window over here?
No, the car is on the north side, or the top of the map.
We went
Killed
around
the
the
guy.
back.
You parked and went around to the front. The front was not on the. It was not at the subdivision.
This is a weird house.
The
It's
road
just in
doesn't-
the woods.
Mm-hmm. The road and no sidewalks come to the front of the house. It was built next to the house, but no efforts were made to connect it to everything else.
I could have sworn we came from down here because there's like a gate.
You did.
We went around the gate.
You went around the woods to the gate because you saw the house from the back of it, and then you went around.
Okay.
Yep. Because it's not in the subdivision. It's not connected to the road.
I could have sworn it was. Okay.
I even said in the preface. Yeah.
I-
It's okay.
I believe you. Arnie, I left my camera in the car.
Dead guy, dead thing.
You killed a guy.
I killed that thing. I need photographs from decent angles on both of these subjects, please.
He would comply. Take pictures. We're supposed to be hunting ghosts, not making them.
That was really good.
That's a good line. That's a good ass line. But I need a roll from you there, Chody.
For
I
what?
need. I believe there's a skill for photography, right?
I had to input one
No.
as an art craft. It was like an elective thing.
Okay. What I'm going to have you do, because it has to do with the mechanism of the thing, I'm going to have you go ahead and make a mechanical repair roll.
Not very good.
Okay. So as you're taking pictures of the dead guy, you're having no problem. So when you kind of come around to the thing, the first picture you take, there's just a strange click that happens, and you kind of realize that it's not actually causing the shutter to, do the thing. The photo is not being taken. So when you start jostling it around, you realize that there's nothing really wrong with it, or you don't think there is, and you go to take a picture of it again, and it doesn't seem to click. But then when you take a picture, to try to take a picture of something else, it works just fine.
Is there any way that I, with a photography skill, can aid him?
Yeah, go ahead and make a photography roll.
Mine's not great, but it's not 10. That's worse.
When you would start, I would tell you, like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need help, and I'll use my persuade ability to tell you not to aid me.
I'll be like, no, you
May I
want to do a wide shot here. You got to get the light in.
I'll allow the roll.
What's your shutter speed set to?
I'll allow the roll, but in future, I'll tell you when to roll. Just
I know, I just thought it was funny because I had a good score on my persuade, so I was like, maybe I can win.
and he's like,
I know it wasn't going to do anything.
My education's an 80. Can I also?
Yeah.
Nope. I don't know cameras.
For whatever reason, you cannot take a picture of the corpse that is.
Chicken grease.
When you point it at the chicken grease thing, it will not photograph.
Is there any mirrors in this room?
None.
Okay.
Cool idea.
Does this door look like it's lock-pickable?
Mm-hmm.
A little criminal.
What's your locksmith?
Locksmith is not good, but I have an item that makes it a 40% chance.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to try it, you can.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and reload my pistol.
So since my item makes it a 40%, would I just roll a D100? And if I get lower than 40, it would be it, or
I don't know what you're talking about. So, what's the item?
What's the item?
the auto lock pit
Oh.
makes non-skilled thieves a 40% chance to pick door locks.
That's awesome.
Huh. Very cool. Yeah, go ahead and roll D100.
Yay, 17.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. So you put it in there. It does the kind of quick tumbling and kind of like tumble catching, and like rakes the pins, and then you hear click, and it seems to unlock. You can now open the door at your pleasure. You also hear a gasp, and as you kind of enter into the room, you see a man dressed very similarly to the two guys, or one guy, one other, in the room you're in, rush very quickly out of this chair towards the door across the way from you and start fussing with the lock. What's your immediate response to this?
I'm gonna scream, "Hey dude, cool, chill it out. We killed that creepy creature over here. I don't know what it was, but we're here to help, I promise."
Door opens as you're finishing that sentence and shuts behind him, and then everyone, Erica, as you're kind of coming into the room from the outside, you would see north of you, kind of in the hallway above, a man, as described, rush towards a door on the far side, open it, and exit out of the house.
Well, he's gone.
He's gonna keep running. And yeah, you can see him kind of
She's not chasing after him.
hit the tree line. He's presumably running towards the kind of where the car is.
I think he's trying to get our car.
He's trying to get our car.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be genuinely angry if he doesn't.
How
And
dare
look,
you,
John
John?
just got on his face.
I'm not taking the car.
Aw.
I mean, I
He
did
just
grab.
wished he just wished
I
he'd
made
thought
sure
of
I
it
grabbed
first.
the keys.
She'll kind of like poke her head into the room. He got out the back door.
That's probably for the best.
Well,
Allows us to make
he
sense
may have
of what
been
happened
safer here. We still don't know who this guy was. Did you get a good look at him? Either of you?
Yeah, he looked like he was dressed like the dead guy.
The dead looks over.
Ah!
Oh.
I forgot we have to introduce each of you to the dead body.
This is a corpse of a man we haven't really learned anything about.
He was broke when we found
He
him.
had no money.
Craziest thing, his wallet
Died
was completely
penniless.
empty.
Why even have a wallet if you're not going to carry around money?
Exactly.
The wallet was pretty good condition and, leather, pretty nice. Maybe he just didn't have a wallet at
He
all.
didn't even have a wallet. That's crazy.
He just had an ID in the back of his pocket.
So wonderful. No ID.
That was the one thing
Oh.
we didn't find.
Oh.
The thing we wanted.
I'm sorry, that's one of the 3 things we didn't find, but the most we didn't find.
Fair.
Wait, sorry. I forgot to lie. Hold on. All the things weren't there.
He had nothing on him at all.
I guess we move into that northern hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Riley, you can see the room that he was in appears to have been some sort of library. And there are two
Very good, very good.
Oh,
very
good.
immaculate...
I see Andy immediately pull his mic apart.
two very immaculate looking
Books?
chairs that appear to have been placed on very ornate and very pricey looking rugs.
Oh, I'm gonna set myself on that chair.
It looks like they're surrounded by books,
Mm-hmm.
as if someone were sitting in the chair with no desk or anything and was just researching.
I'm gonna look to the detective and be like, hey, you think we could fit these rugs in your car? Or
As you move to the chair,
Rugs?
you would see the kind of crushed velvet of the red crushed velvet of the seat still has like a space where someone was sitting.
I was gonna actually ask you that. So does it look like it was a well-worn chair?
It does look pretty well worn, but at the same time,
What's the size?
It
Go ahead.
has like a certain kind of level of either newness or maintenance that has been kind of put to it. So
Quality.
it's quality.
What's the size of the form? The big person, small person, medium person?
It looks like it's wide enough to kind of sit either, but like I mentioned, there does look like the depression of the last, occupant, presumably the guy who just ran off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he was a large fellow, like probably
Okay.
as big as anybody in the group. I think Stan's kind of burly, right? But I don't think anybody else is.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of like small.
Size 60, a little above average, but not
Yeah.
huge.
If I look around at the books, anything stand out? The ones that are especially right around the chair.
Around the chair, yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like a lot of unnamed books. They appear to be more journals and the kind. And as you kind of pick up the first one and look into it, you realize that it's very esoteric writing with a lot of like hand-drawn things in it. The writing kind of ranges in languages, and it appears to be kind of works of the arcane that have been kind of placed here before you.
I know the guy ran off and is gone, but I looked out the window and I still see him by the tree line. Like he got winded and assumed he made his escape.
Oh man, I got away! And then he looks back and Sam's just like... No, he gets out. He gets the fuck
I'm
out.
just like peeking through the curtain.
Is Erica nearby?
I'm in.
I would call out
Bill.
Erica.
Stan, if you do check out that window, though, you would see from here, like the trees are like kind of dense, right? But you can see through them enough to kind of get vague ideas of what's out there. So you would be able to see the kind of circle where the subdivision ended, and you can see your car still, right? It just seems like everything else is kind of still foggy and hazy. But despite that, there are beams of light that seem to cut through the trees and the fog and illuminate the backyard as if it were a perfect, picturesque summer's day, even though
It
it's the
did
middle
look
of
very
winter.
bright out that window.
Intentional, yeah.
Cool.
It's fair to say that these books, this is like the person's library in some fashion.
Perhaps.
Erica, can you help me look through these books, and the ones that are right around the chair, maybe to suss out the most important ones? John,
Yeah,
could I use
absolutely.
library use?
Yeah, that's great. And if she is helping, then
Yes.
Yeah.
she just needs
Yes.
to go ahead and roll. If she gets a success, then you can have a bonus die. believe that's how
I
it works.
also roll library use.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
that's
so
how
if
it
you
works.
get a success, I
Okay.
get the bonus die. Hopefully you'll succeed. Okay.
Nope.
I
Sorry.
succeeded.
Okay, so you're just
Didn't
kind of
make-
looking through the books, and what you're realizing is these books have a lot to do with, and it's just very kind of quick perusal. You're not able to
Mhm.
kind of quantifiably understand the nature of it, but it seems that they are all texts of an eldritch nature, and it's like a lot of stuff that in your time you've heard about or read about, or your group has met up and talked about, but it's all right here apparently in form. With that success, that's basically all you're able to acquire knowledge wise, is that they were, whoever that guy was, and also the people in this house, were studying the kind of eldritch nature of things.
In looking through things quickly, do I see any Gaelic amongst the writings?
None at all.
Okay.
And again, some of these books are books that your character, with their kind of history, might know about. Like, you don't know what's in them, but you've heard, like, about the Necronomicon. You've heard about, like, there are all these seemingly present texts that are just very much, like, not great.
This. Yeah. If you would look at Erica, this is incredible.
She's like flipping through the same book that she's been flipping through because she's just like glued to it, and that's how she was like zero help.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah,
wow.
we've all cleaned out closets.
So
Yeah.
the book that you
The
picked
first
up,
thing I find is fascinating.
Yeah.
the book that you picked up, Erica, I'm going to give you a bit of a random chance to make that statement of narrative
Oh, God.
roleplay more fun. I want you to roll a D100.
Oh no.
100 opportunities.
29.
The book you happen to have in your hands and are currently reading appears to be a treatise by an individual who is a local of the town of Nelson, and it has to do with woodworking. The treatise in question seems to have been written by an individual named Gabriel. What was his last name?
Revels.
Rebels, yeah.
Throwback, nice.
And so you're kind of like having heard about Arthur's kind of past with the town of Nelson. This book being here, especially amongst the stuff that whoever was here was perusing, and you looking at it, like going through it, it's the most complete version of Rebels anything that you've seen.
Okay. She kind of like do one of those like nose in the book and then like waving her hand towards Arthur. All of the information about Gabriel Rebels is in here. Did you know about this book?
No.
When you
This.
kind of come over and the
There's-
both of you are kind of going over it, it does that like snap zoom behind your shoulders, kind of over down into who's breathing so hard into my ear.
Andy's so excited about that book.
It's like,
He was just walking.
I know.
I think
In
Brett
the
was touching his mic.
could have been either way. Someone was breathing really hotly into my ear, and I was about to explain this moment, so I was kind of getting excited. So it kind of snap zooms behind you, kind of moves in over you to look at the book as well. And as you're kind of looking at it, what you're realizing is it has the same information that Arthur acquired in the past towards the back regarding Gabriel's insert to the Bible, specifically the tale of Noah. And then this book also shows the complete diagrams, planning, and preparation that went into building each one of the items from last campaign. So that would be the mirror, that would be the hand mirror, that would be all of these items from before.
All of the mirrors.
Correct.
Only 2 of them were mirrors.
There was a
Funny
jewel,
well, 3.
Oh, there was a comb.
jewelry
There was
kit.
There
Yeah.
were a pair of brushes and a jewelry kit.
And then there would be a last thing that appears to be noted that you never have seen. That appears to be a oh god, what are the it's like a makeup box, and it was planned that a small square mirror was going to be placed inside of that makeup box.
Oh. I don't remember you mentioning a makeup box. Did you ever find that?
No,
Is she asking? Okay.
no, there was no makeup box.
Looking at the designs of it, Arthur would notice that the small square steel mirror is the same proportions as the steel mirror that was found with the at the house with the dead bodies. But as you're kind of exploring this seems irrelevant, but at the same time, it also seems very captivating and relevant. I'll kind of take you kind of outside of the story for a second and explain. It's kind of a red herring placed there that I wanted to see if it was present because of the failure. Feel free to focus in on it. I absolutely enjoy that. Some parts might come up and be important. But to focus on the others, Riley, you go out to chase after, is that fair?
Oh no, I'm just looking through the rest of the house.
Oh, okay. So the door in front of you, it's closed, this door here, but it appears to be a swing door that goes either way, and it has like a glass panel in its center. It's almost like a kitchen door, right? Or like a door into yeah. Do you look
Balloon
inside?
style?
Yeah.
You would see it is in fact a kitchen, and it looks like there is a knife on the counter, fresh cut vegetables on the table. It looks like this room is very immaculate and clean.
I would whisper to him, like, just when I get close to him, I don't know if he already left now. I was like, we need to be careful if you're moving out. There's still movement in the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into the kitchen.
Good job, Arnie.
When you step into this hallway, and as
I'm
you're
gonna
about
ignore
to
this good advice.
reach through, the two of you kind of catch this faint smell of outside. It almost smells minty, but it's very much kind of being blown in from the door that's open. And Riley, as you step into the kitchen, the door that he ran out of, the stranger ran out of, slams shut due to the wind being kind of pushed against it and forcing it closed. Arnie,
Yeah,
That catches my
absolutely.
attention.
But because he was thinking, like, if it smelled like cucumbers, it would be a copperhead.
You're right.
The space you enter into, Riley, it smells immaculate. In that it smells very much like cleaning product. You would see that there is a pair of sinks, not only on the north counter but also on the southern counter. There's an old style stove kind of in the back corner. I forget what those freestanding stoves are called.
Pipe stove?
Yes, thank you so much. And it looks like there are pieces of kind of cutlery all about on the counters. And there appears to be something in the sink here. But you can only see the top of it, and you can't really tell. It's almost like the size of a watermelon, or a melon. Somewhere in between those two.
Yeah, I'll go check it out in the sink.
Okay. As you kind of move to it, it appears to be the back of a person's head.
Oh.
And you can
Back
see
of a
that
person's what?
you can see that it was cleanly
Melon.
pulled off of another individual. As you look at the neck, it looks like it's been cleanly cut off. Probably something Riley wouldn't be able to appreciate, but the cut is completely surgical. It's a perfect cut right through the neck and bone, and it looks like it's still kind of leaking into the sink.
Does the face look like the guy that ran out of here?
Face is down. Do you pick it up and turn it so that you can see the face?
Nothing has ever went bad for me here, so might as well.
Okay. As you do so, you can feel like it kind of loosening in your grasp, and its jaw kind of like drops open a bit, but doesn't seem to fall open. Just kind of slowly drops a little. And as you turn the face up, it's not a person you recognize, but his mouth appears to have what appear to be like cloves of garlic shoved into it. Like stuffed fully, but not so fully that it would not be able to move. So like you could open it and like remove the garlic if you wanted to, but yeah, it's absolutely just kind of like someone shoved garlic into the head in the thing's mouth.
You always use more than the recipe calls for.
You should, yeah. And if you're stuffing anything, you should go all in.
Well, thinking in the possible ghost stories type esque brain, this is probably a vampire's head. That's why the garlic's in there. And Riley's a little crazy, just a little bit.
Yeah.
What does that
Riley's
mean?
going to remove
As a
some
treat.
garlic.
Okay.
Kiss it?
So you reach in and you start pulling the garlic out, okay? And it feels about how you would expect it to. But the thing that probably troubles Riley the most is it does feel very wet. Not the interior of the mouth, just the whole of the thing, right? The head, the hair, all of it. It's very wet, and pulling the garlic out, like, it feels very dry in the mouth. But everything else about this decapitated head in the sink feels damp. As you're doing that, you hear the creak of floorboards from the right. This would be about a halfway to 3/4 of the way through the X filling of the fucking garlic from the mouth.
I ain't no quitter.
And Arnie, you watch from there. The wind kind of hits you. You kind of have that moment, and then you see Riley walk over to the sink, pick up a head and turn it over, and then start reaching in and pulling garlic out of it.
I would not be okay with this stuff. I'm just saying, my guy, like, I need to roll sanity or something. He would not be okay with this.
This is not worth the course credit.
No, it's not.
I am 100% okay with players taking on sanity rolls of their own volition.
I'm
Go ahead
going
and
to
make a
because there's
sanity
no
roll.
reason I should be okay with this.
I agree.
No, you're right.
I'm good, but still.
So
It's okay, you go a little insane, guy. We're here for you.
You succeed. You're watching Riley do this, but you see in Riley, like, there's kind of a moment where he walks over and he's kind of curious. Then he reaches in and turns it over, and you can see a look on Riley's face like, huh, and then, oh. And then he kind of reaches in and starts investigating. And so what you're realizing is he's going through the same kind of, like, situation that you're going through. This is weird. What the fuck is going on? But it's at that moment for you, Arnie, that it clicks that you're scared. Riley's not.
I'm scared of him.
No. You realize that you're both having the same kind of response to things. This is very scary. But for Riley, you can tell, like, there's this moment that it kind of clicks for you. He's not insane. He's just trauma responding different than you are. Like, there's this moment where you kind of go, why is he oh, because he's got to know. And you're like, I would never. And then you're like, but I understand what he's going for. Right? It's like that. It's that moment where you kind of like empathize with a person who's a little bit more.
This is the moment you two became best friends.
Right. So you're not seeing Riley's like
The classic kitchen head.
Yay! I found a head, and like I want to scoop all the garlic out of it. It was more of a, well, now there's this kitchen head, and I have to get the garlic out of the mouth to be sure. And for you, it'd be like, if there's a kitchen head, ah. Whereas
You
for
two
Riley,
have
it's
a
like,
moment.
well, we've got a kitchen head now.
There's only one thing to do about this.
Gotta
Classic
find out why
kitchen
there's
head.
garlic in it.
It was either this or burn it in the stove. So
So before the
Why
door
not both?
slammed and I see these two wander into the kitchen,
Yeah, so you.
I was kind of glimpsing around, hoping to see either like a big family Bible or an album of some kind, like a photo album.
As you kind of go around this specific room, there are no photo albums in this room, nor are there any Bibles.
Okay.
Which, again, for you, being kind of, a good American, having this many books in a library and not one of them be the Book of God is a bit concerning.
Maybe it's
Well,
by their bedside.
This doesn't. That is exactly what I'm going for. This isn't necessarily the room for a family Bible.
Right.
It would be more in a family room, in a drawing room, in a bedroom. I'm looking for something to ID the people that live or lived here.
Yeah, so the photo album
A family
was...
Bible would at least have names in the front cover.
Sure, the photo album had no names or writing in it, but there was that photo album in the first room. Or rather, your first room.
Okay.
So
I heard a door slam.
if you were there where Arthur was doing that, you probably would have been able to kind of look over at it and check it. And so you saw the 3 men, the 1 woman, and the child that were apparently here a decade or so ago.
And they didn't look necessarily familiar to the individuals I've seen so far?
So far, no. Yeah.
Okay. Door slam. Arnie follows Riley into a kitchen, or through a hallway, and I see Arnie just kind of freeze.
Yeah, in the hallway, just kind of stopping. And there's kind of a look of disgust on his face. But there's also a look of, like, trepidation as well. Like, he doesn't want to move from where he is. And then you turn back and you'd see the 2 scholarly folks are kind of really focused on this
having a
one
read party.
book. This one book.
I guess I'll check up on
It's just a
Arnie
really
here
cool
and
book,
see how
okay?
he's doing. Gently put my hand on his shoulder as I cross into the hallway with him.
Yeah.
You seeing this?
And you look over and
Seeing
you
what?
see Riley's character, or Brent's character, Riley, currently kind of like probably shaking the head to make sure all the garlic is out.
Like slapping the
sure.
back of it.
For sure.
What you got there, son?
I'm pretty sure it's a vampire head. So I took the garlic out to see if it would come back alive.
You got garlic?
So it's either really good at playing dead, or it
Right.
is not a vampire head. But
Yeah, where'd
the
you
only way to
find
be
that?
sure is to put it in the stove.
Well, you see, there's a thing called crime scene tampering, and I'd rather not put the head in the stove.
You mean the crime scene you made back there with shooting that guy?
I shot a creature that appears to be made of chicken gelatin.
Do you go into the room with Riley?
Yeah,
Sam?
I'll approach.
Your guy seems a bit more down to earth, right? Like, he seems like a kind of,
Tries to be.
more measured guy. And so you see the situation, and from what you can tell, it does look like a person's head with garlic that's been fished out of it, and it looks like for whatever
Dumped
reason,
all over the floor.
it has been kind of coated in some kind of fluid. As you inspect it more thoroughly, I would say for you, it almost looks like it was being prepared. Not so much that it was being whatever fucking Riley said. It almost looks like it was being prepared for cooking. And so there are some methods to cook cow's head. It does look like...
But it was brining this head?
It doesn't look like they were brining it. The liquid that's on it, it's very wet. But what it is, you can't be certain unless you do the good old...
I'll get up and smell it.
If you smell about the head, it has a vinegary smell to it.
Vinegary.
Pickling it?
That was the next
Really?
guess. Is somebody trying to pickle this? But it's not airtight.
No.
Think somebody was trying to cook this?
More than likely that.
I think somebody
doing
was
some
expecting to
head
eat this, Riley.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
It may
So-
have been some sort of barbacoa or something to that effect. Like they were getting ready to cook it in the stove.
How was it prepared? Like, Is it like
Well-
the brains they're looking for, or what?
It's an entire human head surgically
So-
removed from the neck with
but
a,
nothing has
with a
been
bunch
done
of
with-
garlic cloves jammed in it.
Okay.
Not there though.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Let's put this down and have a good look around this kitchen, Riley. Arnie, why
So
don't you alert our scholarly pal?
we've got Riley. We've got Stan in the kitchen. Do we want anyone else in the kitchen as you kind of reconvene?
You guys are still raiding?
Well, is there what's up with this door up here?
That's the door
Maybe
that
that's
slams
this-
shut. It goes outside. Okay, we'll focus on that, Arthur. That's what Arthur's doing. What's Erica doing?
I suppose she'll be in the hallway next to
Arnie.
Arnie.
Okay.
You can swipe a book or two if you guys want it.
Oh, I'm sure they kept that Gabriel book.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I grabbed another I grabbed another book at random that looked interesting and put it in
Sure.
my bag.
Arnie, are you going into the kitchen or are you staying out?
I would stay out, but when she comes out, I would tell her that if you are interested in the art pieces, there was a very intricate door around the hallway as well that we might want to look at as well.
Well, we should take a look at that.
I would head that way.
Okay. You just heading south? Okay. We'll
Yeah,
discuss.
to the hallway.
Just backtrack.
Yeah, there's a door here. We'll talk about that in a second. So for Riley and Stan, Riley, once you've kind of dealt with the head, and Stan, you're kind of suggesting you look around. The two of you are probably going to move on to the next tasks at hand. So either one of you can start. Just tell me what you want to do.
I guess I'll head south towards this counter area.
Okay. And then
Check the other. Just sort of sweep the room.
okay. So Riley, you move over to this door and you try to kind of make your way in. The door looks like a sturdy kind of larder door, and as you kind of move to push it open, there's a bit of resistance, and then you also kind of try and force the handle, which is a very simple mechanism. It's kind of like a latch mechanism instead of like an actual doorknob or what have you, and it's not really like there's nothing impeding it. But even if you kind of lift it up and then try to push, there seems to be something on the opposite side of the door that is impeding your progress. I don't know if Riley would think to kind of like push harder or use force, but if that's something you think he would do. Okay.
Yeah, I would try.
Go ahead and make a strength check. Okay. So you kind of push against the door a little bit harder, and you realize that there's something on the opposite side that is inhibiting you from kind of pushing it fully open. So you give it a bit more gusto, and eventually are able to kind of push it with kind of an eerie kind of like sliding sound. The door seems to be kind of connected to the ground a bit more than one would want a door like this to be connected to the ground. So as it's kind of pushing, it kind of scrapes against the tile a bit. And the thing that seems to be impeding it from opening directly on the opposite side moves, shifts, and then you hear a loud kind of crashing sound, which is buffered slightly by something meaty and kind of funky. So it's basically push, and it's kind of like this weird drag, and then crash, but like a full crash sound. And as you look inside, you realize the reason for all of this. The door seems to be being held closed by a dead body on the ground. And it looks like in the forcing it, it caused something on the shelf nearby to fall off onto it and then onto the ground. What fell off appears to have been a wooden box filled to the brim, just totally, completely packed full of spaghetti, like hard, uncooked spaghetti. And the body in question on the ground looks like its head has been removed. And there's a trickle of blood that goes towards the middle of this larder room where there's a whole drain in the center of the floor.
Oh, that's where that went.
Okay.
The
Oh.
body is dressed very similarly to all of the people you have seen thus far.
The other
in this
3 guys.
house.
I'm going to see if there's any identification on the body.
Yes, that would be great. So what you do, you pull out a wallet that is much more up and cool than the last guy's, and as you open it up, you would see that there is 2 pieces of identification. What appears to be a Pennsylvania State identification card for an individual named Jonathan Bryce, and the picture of the person on there appears to be the head, at least, distorted look, obviously. Probably happier days for him here than
Garlicless.
Oh, yeah, definitely was
a
nice
garlicless
garlic.
photography day for him.
A lot less spice to this.
And the other piece of identification is a badge, a Pinkerton badge.
Is there any money in the wallet?
Yes, there is. $15.
Mention that.
A tenner and a 5.
Actually, no, I'm
The
taking
name Bryce
badge
sounds
and the
familiar.
ID
I know I'm not
out,
there with him.
And I'm gonna slide the wallet in my pocket, and then I'm gonna come out like he only had these 2 things, but it says he's a Pinkerton.
Who did? Oh my god!
Wait,
Lie.
before that happens, because obviously at the same time Stan was investigating, you move over, and so when you
Sure,
kind of,
I'll stay by the sink until I'm...
when you pass by the table, what you would notice is there's a very large tray, yet uncooked, of greens. Okay, and it looks like it was going to serve as a bed of greens for something to be put on
Some
top
okra.
of it.
They were doing
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah, they were doing it right. The head was going to be placed into it, is your presumption. Looks like there are all different sorts of spices and kind of like drizzles kind of present here. Looks like they were working on a process to kind of like just kind of coat the head with not just vinegar, but also with like different
Most
spices.
refined savages I've ever encountered.
Okay, just a heads up, I have not washed my hands. I still have that stuff all over my hands.
That's fair. That's fair. If you
It's the 50s.
if you do
Germs
one,
didn't exist.
if you do one of these, it's going to be an apple vinegar is what it's going to be, like apple cider vinegar, I think it's called. But yeah. You went over to this table. This is right when you're going to hear the thud, but you look at the table, or the counter rather, and it looks like there is a grinder for pepper, and it looks like they were just grinding pepper onto the counter into one small pile. So there's a pile of pepper just seated neatly next to the grinder for whatever reason. And I just noticed that your token is not present on the thing because it's not showing vision. That's funny.
Amy. Oh, it's in your Twitch?
Yeah, because I didn't have view on it. That's so silly. But yeah. So you're moving around and nobody was like aware. It's fun. Fix though.
I know any better.
So you would hear the crash. I would say go ahead and Arthur, Erica, and Arnie, go ahead and roll listen rolls. I just need a success. Nothing too huge.
Nope.
Focused on the carving that Arnie mentioned. Arnie, you hear the crash
Ah,
behind
right.
you.
You know what? Artie's the type that might ignore it.
And Arthur,
Yes.
listen check, please.
Can I?
Listen.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
So you hear a crash from inside the kitchen as well. Just imagine what it would sound like if a wooden box full of spaghetti fell off of a shelf onto a dead body and then splayed out all over the tile floor.
Sure, we're gonna run back that way and sort of see what's happening.
Arnie, do you change tack or do you continue leading Erica towards the door?
I'd have to go look. I wouldn't leave my people.
Okay, what was that? And then Arnie starts turning back on you, Erica, and you're kind of confused because you didn't hear what he heard.
Mm.
You come inside, and you would see Stan moving over. I believe you were moving over towards Riley. Is that right?
Yeah, Riley said he was going to start calling for me after he found
Okay.
just a badge and a ID.
So as he's kind of going into the pocket looking for the ID and such, you're walking over. You would see that in the doorway on the opposite side of the kitchen, there is a figure, and the second you blink, it's not there.
What?
That would just be for Stan.
Okay.
So
The
as you-
shape of a
Yeah.
person, humanoid.
the shape of a person, and then when you blink and look out that way, it's just a hallway, and then you can see that there's a door just opposite the door you're in.
I don't want to alert anybody to that.
And then Riley says he's a Pinkerton, and that's about when Arthur comes in. And then Arthur, you kind of look across the way to see Riley coming out with the wall or with just the identification. And you'd see Stan. You do not see the figure I mentioned to Stan. You would see the room as it stands. And I don't know if you were introduced to the head in the sink or not.
No, I don't think.
On the counter.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
I don't think Erica or
And
Arthur.
you looked at it, Stan, or did you just kind of, like, he was doing his thing with it, and then you kind of...
I walked over and I smelled it.
You smelled it. Okay, so I would say that you would have had enough experience looking at it then to recognize the individual. He is one of the 3 men in the photo album.
Okay.
He's the...
Okay.
I would say there are the 3 men. They kind of all look related. There was definitely one that was the youngest, one that was kind of like the middle, and then one that was much older than them, kind of like salt and pepper like Arthur is. This would be the middle guy.
Okay.
Jonathan
And
Bryce.
that's presumably his body.
If you look at it...
We have only one bodiless head and one headless body in current memory. So I'm just plugging in where I see fit.
Being a detective and figuring out the harder problems like that
I went to the academy.
The other thing you would notice is that the cut on the head and the cut on the body are both not only very close in like approximation size wise, like if you were to puzzle them together it would probably work, but the cuts are both identical. Like it's a perfectly clean cut. There's no like torn flesh. It's perfect.
I was thinking about doing that when I seen the body.
Putting it back on.
Yeah. See if you can screw back on, it's vampire.
It's the 50s. We don't know medicine.
Maybe they knew something we didn't, Depends.
Does the name, what was it, Bryce?
Jonathan Bryce.
Jonathan Bryce?
It doesn't ring any
That doesn't
bells.
ring any bells for me.
Pinkertons do.
Of course Pinkertons do.
If you look at the badge a bit more precisely, you would also recognize his rank within the Pinkertons. Appears to have been captain. I don't know if you're familiar with Pinkertons as a whole, but their structuring is very similar to a cop outfit.
Military?
Yeah.
Oh.
They kind of very similarly like have chiefs and the like.
Sure. First instinct is this may have been his house when Pinkertons were stationed here. Especially if he's in a photo album. But, that I'm just gonna kind of like, okay, like just sort of reading it, and then just sort of glance down this hallway.
Okay, so you would see Erica and Arnie come back in not too long after Arthur came in, and then you folks are kind of wondering what's going on, and you'd see that they're kind of all around the larder. And Arnie, you kind of like spatially like made yourself aware of the nature of the house's positioning. You were heading towards the hallway that went across the span of the house, where in the middle is the ornate wooden door you have yet to look at.
Yep.
The door that Stan is now looking outside of is the door that you saw the shadows playing at.
I would shockingly say that that's where I saw the movement from. It was in here.
Saying that to Erica.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Stan, you would have been able to overhear that.
Can't pretend we're
So
alone
there's
in
someone else in the house. Possibly.
here. Very likely.
Ballistic vampires.
Arnie, if you wouldn't mind,
God damn it, Riley.
refined to self-hating vampires.
Starts writing.
Arnie, if you wouldn't mind, snap a couple photos of the contents of that sink and the contents of this larder for me.
Oh, do you want me to put that back in the sink?
No, that's okay. You can stop touching the head.
Okay.
He didn't walk back over to it. He's just like, do you want me to put it back in the sink? And he's just like fumbling around.
He's like juggling it,
Do you want to put this back in the sink?
spinning it on his finger.
Harlem Globetrotters. Music playing in the background.
Oh no!
Would I have any trouble taking the pictures with these things, John?
With this person, no. What you would notice, though, is when you go to take pictures inside of this room, the larder, there does appear to be a very a very plain-looking wooden chest on the floor that seems to just have, like, this glow to it. Like, it's dark in the larder. There's no light other than the light that's coming from the kitchen and the like. But for some reason, this is very visible in the darkness. It's almost like a bright yellow that just kind of stands out.
I would say, did you guys see this as I reach for it to open it?
Oh, missed it.
I thought that was more spaghetti.
You pull open this chest. It's very
Spaghetti
simple
box.
wooden top, and inside of it there are a number of small little pieces of jewelry, like gold and bronze and brass, like pieces that look very, very outside of what you would see, like, in modernity. They look like they're not supposed to be here. But they all appear to be kind of neck, like, ornamentation of different stylings. I don't know if Arnie's very worldly or traveled. Is he?
No.
So, yeah,
No.
they look foreign. They do not look like... They look like stuff you might have caught in the cinema. Like, for the Mummy movies or whatever. Like, because this is, like... Bela Lugosi and stuff was around the 50s, or before the 50s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not saying it's a vampire, though. I just want to make sure that's clear to you, Brent. If you know who a Bela Lugosi is.
I don't, but that sounds very vampire.
He's about to start Googling. I can feel it.
Oh wait, so
That's a vampire in my
Reinforcing
head.
the vampire.
no rings, just necklaces.
Necklaces, talismans, kind of like large, kind of almost,
Mhm.
Egyptian style, kind of
Neck
like
jewelry, headless. What's going on here?
Well, decapitated Caucasian male, maybe 40 to 50 years old.
Can I
Just give 'em the
examine
full-
the items
30
to
to 40
see?
is closer.
Okay.
Because
Can I examine the items
Yeah, you can.
to see if I could like determine maybe when they're from?
All over chronologically. Like
all over.
it's you've got like I was saying, kind of Egyptian style kind of neck pieces.
Right, but they make like that stuff in the current day.
Oh
But
no,
is it
it could be
older than
replicas.
that?
no, this
Yeah.
very much for you looks like it's legitimately historical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
and it's a lot of stuff. Like there's Persian art, artifacts present. There's, as I mentioned, Egyptian, kind of.
Any markings on it?
They all look like they're just jewelry from these places that seems to be
Okay.
in this box for some reason. I'd say there's about 10 pieces, and you have, from all different like nations, specifically around the Middle East and like in and abouts there. I'd say we only go about as far out as India and then like Egypt and like Middle Africa for these pieces. The precise location is not known. I haven't taken. I didn't take notes on where they're from, but there's 10 of them.
Well, introducing the late Jonathan Bryce. He is a Pinkerton. I would not be surprised if these are stolen. Pinkertons are known to apprehend evidence. That's merely a notion of mine.
When he
Do
says
you
that,
intend to proceed with?
when he says that, Arnie, you kind of look down at the box again and see that there does appear to be a small kind of labeling that says "from," and then below that, and kind of like burned on the wood part, it says "Rebels Manor."
You got it, Artie. Jody, that's you.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I cut out. I was reading.
So when they mention like this is Pinkerton's, they probably stole this from somebody. You kind of look back at the box, and like near where the latch mechanism was to lift open the box, there's like a burn mark that says "from," and just below that says "Rebels Manor," and it looks like it's very kind of like it's like that typeset that they use to kind of burn into wooden stuff. Like they all have like the different letters, and they can switch it to kind of form what they're wanting to write on it.
Yeah. I would show them. I'd take a picture of it.
Yep.
I'd pass it off to someone else. I don't have any reason to hold it. I'd give it to the smart people.
Yeah. So you would see that this appears to have been taken from an individual named Rebels, which, again, has more meaning for Arthur Haynes than it would for anybody else. And then Erica, just as much meaning, just not direct contact meaning.
Right. She
There's a
would know to
second-
bring it up to him.
Guys, do it all the way over there.
Is there a second floor to this house?
There are 2 large staircases in the front foyer.
We should probably check out the rest of the place
There was
together.
also the door
together.
outside to the backyard. I don't know who's been able to look out that back door, but you would have seen that there's like pretty sure, a massive marble fountain out back.
It was
And there's a
glowing.
body hanging halfway out of it. No, I'm kidding.
No!
Not from here. We can't see.
Anybody taking any of these necklaces, or
No, we're not.
I believe that's called evidence.
yeah, and we might need it later, so we should probably take it.
That's why it stays there. I'm gonna just peruse this rear corner.
Okay. So yeah, the
Okay,
door
it's
outside,
always throughout.
and yeah, there's a door near you that you kind of can peek through. If you want to open it, you can.
Is this also exterior here to the right?
Nope. It goes into a
Oh.
dining room.
Oh.
And it looks like the centerpiece is very ornate. And it looks like it has flowers in its centerpiece that look like they are not dead or wilted, like someone's been keeping maintenance. On the side opposite, there's a tea set. It doesn't look like it's been used recently. There's a single lily just kind of present in a potted plant, as a potted plant, and there is a record playing device. But the record playing device looks like it's from like the early or the late 10s to like
Like an old
early
Victrola?
20s. Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's very early days kind of record playing device.
Just poking my head in, making sure
And then there's a
this
large,
room is accounted for.
there's a large cabinet that's filled with china and other ornate dishes. There's a white kind of it's just like a little shelf, I guess. I don't know what those things are called that people display piece. It doesn't
A
look like it
curio
has.
cabinet?
Yeah, it's not a cabinet though. It's just like it's almost just like a table, but it's specifically for just like displaying something.
Oh, a curio case.
Yeah, well, again, it's not like a case. It's just a piece
No,
of
no, no,
wood.
no, no,
Curio
no.
table.
It's a curio case is a table that has like a shadow box, but a glass top. Is that what you're talking about?
No. It is literally
No, it's just like a
Oh.
potted plant on top of it. It's just a nice table.
Oh,
a little
okay.
table. My wife has these. Like it's just a
I'll
table.
go. I tell you what, John. I'll go look at it. You tell me exactly what it is.
It's-
That curio thing.
It's filled with lavender. It's
My
got a good-
detective skills are tingling.
It's a good smell. It we'll call it a curio, just
Alright.
because that
Yeah.
makes sense. That works for me. But
Take note of that.
it is literally just a piece of
It's in the
wood
report.
painted neatly white with four legs pressed up against a wall, and it's got a lavender potted plant on it.
Oh, just one of those half tables.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
like
a
a-
hallway table.
A hallway
Dan
table.
is scratched
Perfect.
out curio case, curio cabinet, curio.
Got
Got it.
You can, from that position, you could hear the roar of a fireplace on the opposite side. If you were to go to this door and open it, this would lead you to the
Oh yeah,
same office space that
this is where I'm assuming
everyone else
Erica and
broke in.
Arthur and Arnie are entered in.
Yeah, the window's still open. And it looks like the coffee is a little bit cooler, but still a little bit of steam emanates from it. And there's a magazine on the table, which I don't think anybody looked at.
I'll take a glimpse at the magazine.
There
I
was
don't
a
want to
shot that was
separate
part
myself
off.
too far.
Head
Fair.
cooking monthly.
So the magazine in question appears to
He has
be
100 recipes for cooking it.
it appears to be a Time magazine from the 30s.
So not a new one.
Correct. I believe it would be. Let me see.
We had one individual who had barricaded himself in a library
Appears to be
after we had fired shots.
a mid-December copy of. Or sorry, early. Sorry, July. July. It's Nikola Tesla on the cover. Double checking my notes. So, in this game's continuity, this magazine's about 20 years old, but it doesn't look like it's too worn or torn. It just looks almost like it was fresh off the presses.
Okay. Time travel?
Not
How long had the first
That's
body?
against the law.
Time traveling cannibalistic vampires. Man, we're just getting crazy. Dude.
We figured it
Alright.
out. We solved it, John. Go ahead and you can just say it's over now.
We have the first dead body. How long had it appeared to have been dead?
Very fresh. Yeah, it looked like it was.
Like it had just been attacked by that thing within minutes, right?
Maybe
We had a guy barricaded in a library.
based on the consumption rate of what was kind of torn off of it, probably an hour or two ago. It's more close to the
Okay.
time frame.
That's a lot longer than I expected.
Based,
Still,
based on the amount of preparation that was done with this person's body, probably closer to 6 hours. It was probably done like earlier this morning.
the head guy.
The head guy, yeah,
Okay. The guy that was eaten by the monster was within
an hour.
an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that time, there's still warmth to this coffee mug, tea mug.
Mm-hmm.
So while this murders had happened, somebody brewed themselves a nice cuppa. And there is another individual we believe is hiding from us in the house.
Yeah. So as
Beyond the person that darted off to the north.
As you kind of survey that, you do see motion from the door to the side, but you realize it's just Arthur coming down the hallway and going towards the foyer. And this is about when you kind of look down at the magazine, kind of look over it, kind of curious. You then kind of are trying to think over it, kind of hand on chin, looking at the fireplace. It's still also having a bit of, glow to it. Probably hasn't been tended in a while, but it does look like it was started today. And then there's another moment where you kind of look up towards the door and see kind of like the silhouette of a person in the doorway, just for a blink of an eye kind of moment. And it seems to have been about the same shape and size as the last time you kind of saw something out of the corner of your eye.
Deal with him eventually. I'm going to go back the way I came to where I split off.
Okay. Riley,
And,
Arnie, and Erica, you were heading down towards the entranceway, but also stopping where Riley was with the strange door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you come around to the space, and then you all kind of move towards that door. And the door is ornately carved, very beautifully done, and it appears to be a depiction, at least from what Eric can tell from her knowledge of, art and the like. It appears to be a depiction of the Catholic story of the fall of Lucifer from heaven. It shows a very ornate-looking, very androgynous male figure in the center with wings on fire, kind of descending downwards. Above it are angels with their swords pointed inwards towards the falling frame, the falling feature in the center, and then below are devil-winged creatures with tridents pointing upwards.
I'm gonna try to open it.
Where is Erica?
There is no doorknob, even though it depicts one on the
Was
map.
it not? Was it not
Gotcha.
this door?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. That door is a simple normal
Oh, she's
door.
around the corner.
I thought we were going towards the door that Arnie had mentioned. That door, thank you for pointing it out. Everybody else kind of moved past it. That is a regular normal door. Do you want to open it? You can.
Oh, no.
I can do it for
I
you.
wouldn't have.
It's-
I wouldn't have walked past her.
Hold on, Elizabeth, go back because it's not that big a deal. Go to it. I just want to make sure that we understand
It's a
that
fun door. It's just another. It's just another bodiless head.
It's a shitter. It's just a toilet.
It's your favorite room.
It's my favorite room. It's where I spend most of my
It's an
time.
important room.
And then past that, we get to the very ornate door that
Okay.
does not have a doorknob, Brent. So when you go to try and open it, there's nothing to kind of move or do to that. And then if you push on it, it doesn't seem to kind of budge at all. It's almost as if it were completely solidly in place. But when you look at it, it has all of the fittings of a door. The hinges are on the other side, so it opens inwards. And it does look like it has like a bit of a space off of the ground a bit. So it's a door. It just, you don't know how to open it.
Do we bust it down?
What?
Should
Bust
we bust
it
it down?
Yeah.
No. Did you see this carving?
Yeah.
She
I saw
starts going
another
on
door.
to
Is this
like
one a
a
closet?
lecture of like the very detailed carving and like
Nice. How dare you?
and like it's probably oak, right?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
all I'm saying
like,
is
and how, like,
we're
hard-
dealing with possible time traveling cannibal vampires. I don't think they care about a door.
Where did the time traveling come from? Where
It's
did the
canon.
vampire come from?
The head with garlic in it.
Okay, that's fair.
Did-
But
Wait, did you not see the kitchen? Don't go in the kitchen.
Time traveling.
The
man.
mess. Where's the old man?
Arthur, you go into the foyer and you look at the
I would
staircases.
call back to the others. So I was like, Stan, Erica.
In the foyer, your voice carries and echoes.
Nice.
And all the doors that are open,
It's
it
good.
traverses through. If there are doorways in between you and them, it would buffer.
Everybody, all the ghosts have heard me. Let's go.
We'll come back to this door to break it down.
Arthur
if we need
versus
to.
all ghosts.
we're not gonna break it down.
Let's break it down.
There's one last door that you haven't explored that could potentially be
I
open.
already accidentally clicked on it.
Yeah.
I kind of popped it open too.
It's
I'm sorry.
another bathroom.
It is a second
my
bathroom.
God.
These guys are loaded.
They're
Two
rich.
bathrooms right next to each other.
I'm gonna give my hands a quick rinse in there because I touched that head.
Yeah, so when you turn the water on, it kind of has that clunk, clunk,
Uh-huh.
clunk, 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 and you can hear the pipes underneath shake a bit, but then it starts splaying water out.
Oh, so it
Like
hasn't
they
been
haven't
used in
been
a while.
turned on in a while.
Like it hasn't been turned on in a while. Exactly, thank you.
There's bathrooms upstairs.
But
I'm
they've
lucky
been
with
cooking
myself.
and brewing. It must just be this
If
bathroom.
you-
Nobody
if you
uses.
had said
There's a
you were-
bathroom. Everybody.
If you said you were using the bathroom or the kitchen sinks, we would have had a different matter, but you are using
Gotcha,
the ones
gotcha,
in the
gotcha.
bathroom.
Oh,
I
God.
was thinking aloud. I came to the same conclusion.
I mean, if you have any
I
questions
heard old man
about...
voice from down here.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah,
any other questions
old
about
man
the
voice.
bathroom and you want to check on them, you can. Like, if you wanted to check to see if there was, anything in the toilet.
Perfecto.
It's
Oh,
another
you meant to
round
Arnie.
of garlic. No, I'm kidding.
I think Garlic out of that one.
And Arthur's gonna pull and take out his revolver.
God, it's like a
again.
corn kernel.
Okay, so
You're
we're
pulling
go-
out the what?
My
Oh, the
revolver.
revolver.
I'm
Okay.
45. I'm
Okay.
holding it like this,
So we're going up the
and
stairs.
he's gonna start slowly going up the stairs because he's
I'm gonna
old.
go the opposite way because
Okay, so to make this easy and functional,
Yeah, I don't want to be stuck behind an old man.
Hey,
snap zoom you. You have tokens now on the first floor and on the second floor. As you can see, the stairs ascend upwards, and you can see that they come up to a point where there are, railings, a higher balcony, and it looks like a number of doors present all throughout the space. There are 2 more hallways, one on the left, one on the right, that go up and down the length of the house.
Let's not split up now, my children.
It's also from this position.
Okay.
Sorry, one last thing. It's also
I'm
from
gonna
this
leap
position.
down and look at that.
You'll see 2 things from this position, and we'll discuss the angel here after that. So, firstly, in the kind of above space, in the rafters, there is an ornate silver chandelier that's not featured on the map, but it would be directly above center of the rug. And then above the door, there is a window, stained glass, depicting an angel, but it looks like there's no light coming through it. It just looks like you're able to see it on this side. It's also something that you didn't see on the outside, almost as if the facade blocked the glass from the outside.
To protect it, obviously.
Perhaps.
Doctor, if you want us to stay together, I suggest you pull the reins on young Riley here, or follow him.
Yes. You may call me Charlie, and I shall call you my angels.
Glad we're all super serious. So Riley, you kind of move over towards that door and kind of stop when everyone says stick together. Do you look at
I
them?
open it.
You try to. This door is locked.
Fucking guy.
Dang it.
When you do try to open the door, you hear a huh, and then kind of like a shuffling sound that sounds like something moved inside that room.
Hey, it's okay. I'm gonna scream at the door. Hey, it's okay. We're here to help. There's we seen the people downstairs. And one dude ran out, but we're here to help, buddy. I promise.
There's no response.
Did you hear somebody,
I
Riley?
think there's somebody in this door.
So there
It's
are.
Detective Stan Dukes. I'm here on the authority of the Arkham Police Department.
You don't have jurisdiction.
Hold on. I am thinking. Continue your spiel, Stan.
On the authority of the Arkham Police Department to investigate violence in the area, which
Go
is
ahead.
accurate.
Go ahead and make a.
Come out with your hands up.
Go ahead and make a persuade roll.
Persuade and not intimidate.
You are trying to persuade someone into doing something. Intimidation doesn't usually elicit coming out to get shot.
Coming out with your hands up.
Yeah.
Surrender. All right.
Okay, you want to spend luck?
Yeah, I'll spend 35. Would make it.
Yeah, 10's what you need.
Whoops. I clicked on luck. I wanted to
Okay,
adjust luck. Yeah, sure. I got a 10.
you hear a, you're with the police? And the voice that comes out sounds very young. Probably like early teens. Or maybe younger.
Yes, son. I'm a private detective working with the Arkham Police Department. They sent me here to check out what's going on here. Will you please unlock this door?
Okay. And then you hear like very light footfall come closer to the door, and then open the door. And I don't have a token for him out yet, but I will here in a second. But a young lad, probably somewhere in his early teens, wearing clothing very similar to everyone you've seen in this house thus far, is now standing before you, looking up at you.
Now I'm wondering if they're in a cult.
He,
Yeah, me too.
for you, Stan, he looks familiar, but not identical. As you're kind of looking at him, you realize he looks like the kid in the photography book, but he looks like he's like like a adjacent, like a sibling or maybe an offspring of, if like the person who was in that picture grew up and had a kid.
Somehow related to
Yeah, that child.
Bryce.
Well, no, the child specifically, because there was the three.
Oh, he's related to the child. The picture was from 10 years ago or so.
Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cousin or something.
Some form of relative. Stop moving around, Brent. I can't. You can't. You are not the star.
Possibly not a vampire.
You're not the star of the show, but your character.
I gave him the ocular pat down, and I assessed it was safe to move on. Detective Stan can handle the kid. There are doors to be opened.
I'm sure he's got this.
I found a good one. Okay. So yeah, he looks at you and he says, is it gone?
I holster my gun. I take a knee. What's your name, son?
Derek.
Derek? My name
Yeah.
is Stanley Dukes.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what you saw here.
Well, Dad told me to get into the room, and then that was last night, and said to lock the door and not to come out until he came up, and that was I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I did what my dad said. And
We're still kind of mid-morning, right?
getting closer to noon, but yeah.
Okay.
And then I heard some gunshots, and I got real scared, and I was thinking about maybe climbing out the window or hiding somewhere, maybe in the wardrobe or something. And I just hid under the bed, and then you showed up.
Sorry to frighten you, Derek. I assume the gunshots were me. There was a creature downstairs that had attacked me and a compatriot of mine. But I want you to know, so long as I'm here with you, you are safe. Can you tell me what your dad's name is?
Bill.
What's your last name, Derek?
Oh, Jones.
Am I making you make up?
No, I have it. Jones. My name
Bill and Derek Jones.
Derek Jones. Is he okay?
I don't know for sure. Did anyone else live in this house? Other than you and your pa?
Well, they used to, but... Well... I don't know if I can tell you, because you're a cop.
That's fair. Can I introduce you to a friend of mine who's not a cop?
Okay,
Would you be more comfortable with them?
maybe.
Okay. Well, that's not a problem. I understand. Not everybody wants to talk to cops, Derek.
Hey, Cap.
Feeling Erica, but I want to give Artie a chance too.
Wow, just because I'm a woman? I think I'm good with
It could be
kids.
comforting for him. It's 1950. You know what, Arnie, get over here.
Arnie.
I'm so
Hey,
happy
kid.
you didn't pick me because I was gonna be like, hey,
There was no chance in hell it was gonna be you, Brett.
Riley.
What about what can you tell me about the time traveling vampires?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Did you,
Yeah, you're gonna,
did you see
you're gonna
did you
scare this
taste
kid into a
Right.
fucking coma.
did you see that Chasto's head downstairs? It's like vinegar.
Oh my god.
My friend Arnie here, he's a photographer.
I'd
He's a
start
pretty
showing
good
them
one.
the camera and how it works and
Oh.
take them through it.
My dad was, he was working with the news people.
On what?
Well, they were they were recording the video. You said they were recording the things that would come out at night.
things are that?
Oh, people. People with wings.
Holy shit.
People with wings.
Yeah.
What time is it now? What time are we at? What time of day? Wait a
Noon.
second, what?
We're about
Noon,
like
thank-
11 in the morning.
Oh, thank God.
Later morning.
Okay.
The people with wings would come out at night.
While he's doing that, I'm going to say, well, keep talking. I got more devices. Hold on, let me show you some other stuff. I'm gonna pull out the recorder and start recording
Audio.
recording him as he tells me about it.
Okay.
Do you play with your ghost doodads?
And just to be sure, Riley did walk away and head south. Is that real? Is that a thing that genuinely
Oh
happened?
yeah. As
Okay.
soon as kid opened door, Riley lost all interest and walked down the road.
You walk over to the door.
Not a
and
vampire pass.
Do you open it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Ren's character is always the first to die in Cthulhu. Just that's canon.
So there's
Yeah.
gonna
Follow him.
True.
You own a gun.
there's gonna be a similar setup to the room that you were just seeing. There does appear to be a door that heads to the north of this space, similar to there being a door on the south of the room that Derek was in. This room is a bit different in that it looks like there is like an army carry bag set next to the bedside table. It looks like it's kind of stood up on its side, and it looks like its zipper's still open, and it looks like there's a smattering of clothing inside. A lot of it very similar to what you've seen on a lot of folks. It's kind of just gray, bland, simple, button-up shirts, and I think there might still be a cap in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next to this window, kind of standing on the side of the window, is an M1 Garand. Keeping in mind that you saw ammunition dispensed out of a similar weapon at the sites that you've seen that looked like they were kind of shot to shed. And it looks like there's a box of ammunition, military style, kind of next to the Garand.
I will walk over to the bag
Okay.
and kind of shuffle through it.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of clothing, and a lot of it looks like it's been kind of just tossed in there. It's almost like someone ran through a Goodwill and just had their arm out and shoved a bunch of clothing.
My grandmother packing this bag?
My grandma. Your grandmother packed this bag for you, Brent. This is for you,
I gotta have
actually.
it then.
Some of the clothes are like close in sizes, but some of them are like, different in sizes. Some of them don't even have sizes marked on them, like they're like handmade and were tossed in the bag as well. But it looks like a gathering of clothing that's been kind of shoved into the bag.
Spooky.
Okay. Yeah, I'll empty the clothing onto the bed,
Okay.
and then can the rifle fit into the bag?
Yeah.
I'll put the rifle and the ammo in the bag,
Okay.
and then I'll zip it up, and I'll throw the bag over my shoulder,
Okay.
and then I'll come out of the room.
So while that's happening, before it gets to the finish there, and I'll kind of give you a gesture when you come back out. Stan, you moved Arnie to talk to the kid, and Arnie, you turned on your recording device. What are we talking to the kid about?
I'm wanting him to talk about the angels and what happens at night.
So the lights will appear in the dark, and then the men with wings will kind of fly around in the sky. Dad said that we shouldn't be around when they come down.
Do they hurt anyone?
I don't know. I just know that last night they were around. And
Where
they're-
do you go when they come around?
Well, we've been living here for the last couple weeks. We've been traveling a bit. Ever since Mom died. And
I'll
we,
pretend not to listen, since he was uncomfortable with me.
we came here, and we've been here for a while. The old lady feeds us And then last night, my dad said to stay in the room when I was just getting ready for bed. I'd just taken a bath. And, yeah. Then everything I said that happened.
Do the angels look like the one on the statue downstairs?
Yeah.
Have you, when you get really scared, is there anywhere in this house that you hide that makes you feel safe?
My room. Well, the room my dad told me was mine. This
one that you just came out of?
Yeah, this is my room.
Have you
My dad
seen-
sleeps just down the way. Did you see him? Is he okay?
We just
Yeah.
got up here, so we haven't checked yet.
Where's my dad?
I'm sure he's fine.
And you see his face, like, when you say that, kind of, like, drop a bit. And at this point, like, as you continue to ask him questions, it seems like he's very kind of standoffishly not saying anything. And the only time he will reply past this point is if he's saying, I want my dad.
Where's my dad? Yeah.
Riley, you come out at about this point with the bag. You walk over to the group,
Yep.
you said?
Yep.
What are you doing with my dad's bag?
Oh, I emptied all the stuff out on the thing. There was a gun in there, and with
That's
the
my
stuff we've
dad's.
seen so far,
That's my
Well-
dad's bag.
that's to break it to you, son. He's either headless
Riley?
or his face.
Oh my
No.
god.
What?
There was a guy who ran out the back.
Yeah, but I don't think a good dad's gonna leave his son here to die.
You see his face kind of whiten
Oh
a
my
bit as you can see,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
fear take him. And stands kind of like cold, like in sharp attempt to kind of cut Riley off. Like turns now probably into a cold, like almost murderous stare on Riley. Is that fair to assume, Zach? Because that's kind of what
Pretty
you're
fair.
that's kind of what you're serving right now, like to the camera. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't say that shit. Don't try to kill me, bro. It was that dumbass. So, cold stare at Riley. Erica, like, arguing the facts. The boy completely just devoid of any kind of sense, like, face almost turning completely white in the process. Arnie, you're kind of holding the recording device looking down at him. And
I
just kind
tell
of...
him, hey, your dad said he wanted you to stay in your room, right?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go look for him to see if we can find him. Why don't you go ahead and stay in your room, so that way if he comes back before we find him, he'll be able to find you easier.
Without saying a word, he reaches over to the door and closes it. You can hear it lock from behind.
So where that lady was.
And I assume that next session will be a lot of infighting, which I would like to see, because that narratively is very satisfying. And that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will see you next week.
Bye.